Hey guys, Matt here. We got the DAKA 521 down in the basement, kind of where we want it today. We got a few things we got to do to it before we can actually fire it and finish the installation. So one thing is we got to put the replacement gasket in. As you can see, it's missing part of it. I figured it's probably better just to replace it. So, got a screwdriver. Fortunately, does not look like they glue. Oh, I guess they did glue it in. Not all of it though. So it's kind of crumbling. Get this all out of here. Get it cleaned up. I picked this up at the local hardware store or Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot, if you have any of those around. A lot of places carry them. You can get it off Amazon if you don't have those available to you. But I think this cost me, say it was like $7, $8. So go ahead. And I got on DAKA's website and pulled the model number up and went through their parts list that you could order online, and it said you needed 1/2 inch, so that's what I got. So let's hope it's right. Open it, got a Ziploc on it. 1/2 inch looks a little big. Nope, it's good. So it's gonna be a little tight snug. I'm assuming there may be some kind of adjustment. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But where do I want the seam at? The bottom? I'm just gonna lay it in here before I glue it or put the cement in. Run it all the way around. So, like I said, this is no clue what I'm doing, but it's pretty self-explanatory. And I think I'm gonna cut it a little longer, maybe like 1/2 inch, because this stuff does kind of move. I can kind of stuff it in there. That way I get a good seal where the two pieces join together, because we don't want to introduce any extra air into this. We want it all to be controlled by this automatic damper. So that's the reason why we're putting this gasket in here, is to try and seal it off so that we don't introduce any extra draft into the fire than what we want, and it will allow us to better control it. Also probably for any smoke leakage or anything else. But I'm just going to cut this maybe like 1/2 inch longer, like so, with this pair of scissors. Got some extra. And then they include the sealant cement. What's the cure time on this? 2 hours. So we gotta keep the door closed 2 hours or until dry for proper bonding. Glue this last because I still have to put the fire brick in. So we'll go ahead and jump into the fire brick, and then when we're all done, we get the grate dropped in. We'll close this door for 2 hours because it wants you to put the sealant in, put the gasket in, and close the door and latch it down for 2 hours to help ensure that the bond is good. And I may also, probably be smart, is go out and grab a wire brush and clean the channel all out before I put the sealant on. That way we get a good bond and we can throw this old stuff away. It doesn't even look like it was the right size, actually. Could be wrong. So the next step will be to get in there and put the fire brick in. It's a little dirty in there. I am going to go grab some tools real quick the wire brush for that, and then also I'm going to grab just a little hand brush so I can brush all the ashes off of the edge in there, so that you know, it's just clean when I put the grate and the fire brick back in. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, I went and got brush so I could clean out the inside, and I grabbed the wire brush so we can go back over the slot for the gasket. So let's see if I can get you guys a little bit closer. I don't know how much you can see in here, so you guys can kind of see it. Sorry you won't be able to see this half, but you can see there's this channel right here, and the bricks slide up into it, and then they rest on this bottom. So kind of the best I can do. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the brick. This is just a regular fire brick. They are 9 by 4.5 by 1 1/4 thick. So all they do is they literally slide up in there like that, and they're locked in. But the bottom, you can pull it out to replace them. So that's all you gotta do. I'll show you guys. Oh, my arm's in the way. Ah. Alright. Slide it up in there, put it back at the bottom. That's it. They can't. It's awkward. They can't come back out there, only at the bottom. And what will happen is this little lip that's left on the bottom edge, your metal grate will fit in there, which will allow the brick not to kick out on the bottom. So you'll basically put them in and just keep sliding them back, and then you have to slide one in to get it behind. I don't know if you can see that in the very back. There's a little tab. In the very back, it's right there. Sorry, it's auto-focusing on my finger, but it's right there in the very back. You'll have to slide one brick in there, slide a brick this way, and then fill the rest in the middle, or else you won't be able to get the last one in. Or back here, there's another one on this back edge back in here, so it can't fall out. So we're going to start putting the fire brick in. I want to try and clean out. There's some ash in here. I mean, a lot of this is self-explanatory, but just kind of brush this edge off. It's gonna get filled with ash again, but probably want to wear a mask. Pretty dusty in there now. Bad dust. Let the dust settle a little bit. Well, I figured all that would have got knocked out when I was throwing the stove around, moving it. So I think that's it. Nope, there's a little bit more right here. Probably want to be wearing a mask when you do this. All this ash and whatnot, it's probably not good for you. So I'm gonna let this settle down. You guys probably can't see it. There's a bunch of dust particles right here, or it's the ash basically left from the previous owner. It's all down in the pan now down here. You guys can see that. All the ash kind of fell down in there. We're just gonna take a brick and yeah, I was a little bit afraid of that. So, doesn't look like it's gonna slide all the way back there, so I might need to use a little persuasion, because they overheated this thing and it buckled out when they did that, or buckled in, and the brick won't slide all the way back in there. And the bricks are important because that's what protects it and keeps the fire hot enough to combust like it's supposed to. So they were probably having to continuously load this thing because it wasn't keeping up, when in reality they should have took it apart, cleaned it, put new brick in it, and, you know, properly did it, which is okay. I can modify that. Let's check the other side. Yep, just as I thought, the other side's the same way. So I may have to just cut the brick to fit it in there right. How's the back one? Looks like the back's gonna fit like it's supposed to. As you can see, there's the 3 in the back. Right there. They all fit perfectly. The side ones, they're not quite fitting back behind these tabs. And they're also hitting up here in the corner, this angle that they put in there, because this is bowed out pretty far on each end. So I'll have to notch the corner of the brick and then see if I can bend the metal tab in the back, or I might just have to notch the brick a little bit. That way I can get them tied up in the corner. At least I think that's how they're supposed to fit. Let's double check. They might actually get stopped right there. Just want to make sure. Yeah, see, it's going to leave a gap. Heat soak it. It won't be good. It'll cause more damage. Well, let me go grab some tools. Alright guys, so I had to go get a hacksaw, and I cut a little corner out of this block in the back, and then to move the tabs, the little tabs, doesn't take much, but I just took a crescent wrench and put it on there and just moved it slightly. It doesn't take much because those aren't support tabs, so don't force them because the heat's probably already stressed the weld and you don't want to break them off. You can see that I have all the bricks in on this side all the way back to there. So now we just got to do the same on the other side. I'm going to get the rest of this other side in, and then I'll bring you guys back when I drop the grate in. Alright, so managed to get these bricks in there. Some of them are pretty tight. Just so you guys know, there is still room for the brick to move up and down and side to side, which that's needed because when you heat objects up, they're going to expand. And what you don't want to do is have the brick wedged in there so tight when it expands, it actually cause it to crack. You don't want that. We got the fire brick all in, the grates in. That's good. Now we just gotta go back and we have our gasket cut. I'm assuming this stuff probably needs kneaded to get it mixed up real good. We also need to wire brush it. So just take the wire brush around it. Just make sure I get a good seal. That. I'm all dirty now, which is okay. So we have the gasket cement sealer. We got the gasket cut. I'm gonna put some of this stuff in there, put the gasket on, shut the door for 2 hours. That's what the instructions say. We're gonna listen to it. I can't wait 2 hours. I really want to light this thing and see how it works. But we have other stuff we can do. What's this little deal here? Can I just cut that off? Nope. It's got to be the whole thing. Alright. Ugh. Yeah, that's gross. Yummy. So, I don't know how much of this to put in there, but they gave me a lot of it, so I'm just gonna make sure it's pretty well covered, right? I'm assuming. Don't know what I'm doing. Stuff doesn't look too healthy. It's like a black tar. Alright. I think that's good. Even though I got it all over me. Wipe it off. Alright. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I don't know why. But let's start down here. Right in the center. Go up. All the way around. Go up here. Go right there. Back down. And I did leave a 1/2 inch room here. So I can tuck it in like that. You guys get all that? It looks good. It doesn't look like it's gonna come out. And they said to oh man, it's a tight fit. Close we are. Looks like this thing needs some persuasion. They said 1/2 inch, but it's not wanting to give. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Just gonna give this a little bend. Hopefully that door seals. Looks like it. I didn't give it much, so it was pretty close. We'll leave that for 2 hours, and I got a couple other things I'm gonna do, and then we'll jump to the back side. We moved the other wood stove that's over there now that we were using the heat, and start putting exhaust pipe in. So I'll see you guys here in a minute. Alright guys, I have the smokestack put in. I went ahead and secured it with screws, but also used some of the gasket sealer on all the joints. That way I made sure it's good and sealed up. So this draft regulator, I picked it up. Got the little weight on it to set so it can automatically maintain the draft automatically. And I think we're ready to fire this thing up. The gasket's all sealed and everything else is good inside the box, so I'm going to give this thing a quick fire up. Actually, I'm going to check that this is operating properly. The handle kind of spins on the shaft, so there's a little set screw back here. I'm going to take it off and lube everything up, make sure it's moving correctly, and we'll go from there.